Hey guys, it's Britt. Tonight I'm here to talk to you about informed consent when it comes to family vloggers. I had some thoughts, so if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so in a couple of the recent videos that I covered the Shannon Rose Dad Challenge podcast sort of cluster that's going on, in my personal opinion, on Shannon's part. It's completely unacceptable. There's no justifying that kind of behavior. There's no justifying putting those claims against someone with no evidence and no proof. And I will stand firm on that. I don't care if people cannot stand the way that Josh talks, the way he looks, the things that he does. You do not put those claims on someone because they can ruin lives. They can literally tear apart families, and it's very dark and very gross. I also mentioned in one of those videos how some of the detractors when it comes to standing up for family vloggers, in my opinion, the intellect is not there with some of these people. And I don't mean that to be a personal attack. It's just an observation where, you can't kind of see the full picture. And a lot of times it's just refusal to see the full picture. But a lot of times it's that they haven't cared to educate themselves and they want to build a straw man fallacy where they're attacking the fact like, oh, you just think that parents can't film their kids. That's not it at all. The problem is consent. Consent has always been, at least in my mind, front and center when it comes to putting your kids online. So I want to read the actual definition of consent, and then let's also talk about informed consent, because I think that those are two very different items when it comes to talking about receiving it from a child. So consent is the permission for something to happen or agreement to do something. And pretty simple. If you ask a child, hey, do you want to be in today's video? They're probably going to say yes to appease their parents because they don't realize that this video is going to be viewed by sometimes millions of people. They don't realize that some of the video might include them in a swimsuit. They might not realize that they might be having the birds and the bees talk, and they're agreeing with this because they don't understand the gravity and the ripple effect of putting this kind of stuff onto the internet. The kids don't understand what Plutos are. They don't understand that there are these Pluto playlists that exist on YouTube where people will literally save videos of young children at gymnastics, swimming, doing their bra shopping, and this kind of really problematic content that is uploaded onto YouTube. So they don't understand that part of it. They just want to appease the parents. Hey, you want to be in a video? Yeah, sure. But that's not informed consent. Even if it is consenting to the video being filmed, they don't understand everything else that comes along with that. Now, when you're talking about informed consent, that is where you understand the risks and or benefits that go along with consenting to said activity, or a lot of times it'll be incorporated into a medical procedure if you're going under for surgery or some kind of procedure in that manner too. But when we're talking about consent as a whole, whether it's regular consent or informed consent, and you're applying this to children, kids don't have the mind space or the knowledge or the capacity or the life experience to be able to say, yes, I want to be put in this video, and I fully understand that there might be weird people online, there might be negative comments, there might be people that recognize me when I'm walking to school tomorrow. They don't understand the repercussions. So for the family vlogger that is saying, well, I asked my kids if they want to be filmed and they say yes, that's not informed consent, and it's still a problem. Now, if you're talking about asking a 15, even like 14, I would say 14, 15, 16-year-old, if they want to be in a video, they have a little bit more of that life experience and knowledge to partially understand what's actually happening when something goes onto YouTube, because by that time, a lot of them are, you know, they're in middle school or high school. They understand social media, they understand comments, they understand that not everyone is a good person. So they are a little bit more well versed. Whereas if you're talking about a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to like, 13-year-old, they don't understand it. So these are two very different, these are two very different forms as far as asking a child if they want to be on video or in a picture. And I did also get a couple questions when I did that video on Stacy and his mom Shay. They're on TikTok. I did that video, and most of you guys took it for what it was. There were a couple questions of, if he is nonverbal, how can he properly consent? And I mentioned in the video that he, despite being nonverbal, he communicates with his mother through an iPad, and on top of it, that's her son. So she knows when he's uncomfortable. There was a video of them at the zoo. He was sitting there and she could tell that he was uncomfortable. And as soon as she asked him, do you want to go home? And he got up, she followed suit and they went home. So when it comes to that kind of situation where we're talking about a 16-year-old that's nonverbal, I still look at him where he can give informed consent, because he's, not so young where he doesn't understand what's going on. He has a fantastic relationship with his mother where he is able to communicate with her through body language, eye contact, just like the look on his face. She can tell when he's uncomfortable, and she has said many times before that she will not, put him on video if he is having a rough time or a bad day. So I still look at a 16-year-old that happens to be nonverbal and communicates with his mom in different manners. I still believe, in my opinion, he can give informed consent, which he is doing. That is completely different than a 5 or 6-year-old being asked, hey, do you want to be, put in this video? We're going to go have a pool day. Of course they're going to say yes. They don't understand the impact of what's actually going on. So I do want to continue this conversation because I think that it's very helpful to people that are not, that haven't educated themselves in the topic of why people are upset with family vlogging on YouTube, and why a lot of people want protections and laws put in place to protect the kids. These kids don't have a separation of work life and home life like a child actor does. Their work life is their home life, and they don't get to unplug and go home to the privacy, of their home residence. These YouTube kids are working in their home. So there's no, hiding where the kids live. A lot of people put out where their kids go to school, where they go to cheerleading practice. It's all too much, and it's a ton of problematic content that I'm always going to speak about. I think some of these other topics can also be very interesting, and it might be helpful for some people who are maybe open to learning about it and educating themselves before they come out with such strong aggressions at anyone who might have an opinion about family vloggers on YouTube. Maybe these videos will help, but then again, some of those people just don't want to listen. They look at it like everyone hates family vloggers and it's just blasphemy, and that's just not the case at all. So either way, I'm going to close this video out here. Please tell me what you guys think down below. Do you agree with the fact that informed consent can be given at those later teenage years before the child is 18? Some people look at 18 as the magic number, and that's just what it is. I don't look at 18 as the magic number because I do believe that kids that are in their teenage years are able to give that informed consent because they have a little bit more of that life experience, whereas the little kids don't. They have no clue what's going on. So asking a small child if they want to be in video. They have no clue what they're agreeing to. But either way, for now, if you like the video, please leave a like in the comments. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.